down to business. This is called a pen mandrel. This is a 2 Morse taper, and it has a collet type fitting here. So these are called the spacers, and there are various ones for various pen kits depending on the size of the pen kit. So take those off and make sure you don't lose them. And so you put a spacer on the rod and then put your blank, remembering to orientate it the right way, and that goes on to the rod. And then you put another spacer in between the next blank, again lining up your marks and putting that on. Now this then will, there are 2 methods of doing this. You can put another spacer on the end there, which you should do anyway, and then this knurled nut will go on to the bar and you tighten that up, and then you bring up your tailstock with your live center and put that in the middle, and then a very slight bit of pressure. Now and then I would tighten up the collet. Now the other method, which this hollow live center fits into your tailstock. Now the advantage of this is that you can have your rod where you like, basically, because this, it's best to have it away from the thread. Now that provides pressure, tighten up your headstock, a little bit of pressure, and you're putting pressure on the bushings, not on the bar itself as you would with the knurled knob, and that can sometimes cause it to bend slightly if you don't get the pressure just right. So, but you can use both. And then all I do then is tighten up the collet, because I've got the right tension, got the right length, tighten that up, and then, as I say, just bring this through, a little bit of pressure. Just to let you know, there's something, I think the bearing has gone, believe it or not, in my live center. So to be quite honest with you, that'll be going back. However, so what I've done now, I've gone back to the more standard practice of the knurled nut. I've moved the rod up a bit into the collet chuck here, and I've tightened that down now, and I've now brought up the live center and tighten the knurled knob. Not too much pressure, as I say, because otherwise you can bend the bar, and it should turn a lot better now without the noise. Okay, so we're checking, I'm checking now with by hand, and that seems right, nice and smooth. And now we'll start to apply our finish. I'm quite happy with the shape. Now, an important part before you apply any finish, which I'm going to be doing a CA finish, is to clean up the area of dust, which will make a lot of you laugh, because a lot of people like to make fun of me for having a clean workshop, but believe me, for this it's important. Now, for applying the CA finish, we're going to start with thin CA. Bob from RJB wraps painter's tape around his finger. I just cut a finger out of one of my gloves that I have, and that stops me getting CA on my fingers. Because one thing I've forgotten, and as I said, this is because I'm a novice. Now the bushings, you're going to have a problem sometimes separating the bushings, so it's always a good idea to put a bit of wax on the bushings, which I haven't done on this occasion, but may I suggest that you do. So turn the lathe on, as I say, and a little dab of thin and wipe, and away. And then a little dab of accelerator, and shake it up each time. Little dab of accelerator and a fresh towel, because that should now be dry to the touch, which it is. A little bit of CA, and that's it, that's all. And a little squirt of accelerator, just 2 coats of the thin, and you can put 3 or 4 coats of the medium on. Now remember, you've got accelerator on there already, so you don't want to spend any time rubbing your paper towel, keeping your paper towel in contact, otherwise it's going to stick. So a little bit of CA and quick rub and away. Shake the can, a bit of accelerator, fresh paper towel, little pad, a bit of CA, quick man, and a little spray of accelerator, and again the last one now. And again, a little dab of CA and put it on. And then a final blast of accelerator. Okay, that's the coating. Now let that completely cure up. You can already see there's quite a nice shine there, but when it's dry you'll find that there'll be little ridges from the paper towel. That's not a problem, we'll sort that out. Okay, now to get the little ridges out now, to smooth that off, I'm going to use 400 grit Abranet, and the reason I use the Abranet, I think it was Wooden Whimsies. I saw the guy on there using Abranet, and just to do the, and you can use this time and time again, about 10-12 pens he reckons he does. Okay, so it's dry now, it's completely dry, and you can feel the ridges on it. Now this is where you have to make sure you get rid of all the shiny bits here, and again, not too fast, just down about 500 revs, and nice quick motions. Keep going and go round, turn it round, fresh bit. Okay, now you need to inspect it now to make sure that you've got no shiny spots, because if you have, that's where you've missed, and that'll come up to bite you later on. No, it's all good. Now with the lathe stopped, again with the grain, to get rid of those, any scratches that might be on there. Okay, it's nice and smooth. Now this method of Abralon micromesh, and this method, and it starts off at 1500 and goes right up to 12,000, and all I'm going to do is to start with the 1500 and dry medium pressure, not a lot of pressure. Keep it moving, because if you stay in one place for too long or you stop, you'll melt the micromesh. And then again, as before, with the lathe stopped, with the grain. Now I'm not going to bore you with this, I'm going to go right the way through. There are 9 different grades and I'll go right through to the 12,000 and I'll come back when that's done. And remembering now to turn the lathe off and go over with the grain. That is as smooth as glass. And what you've done there is take back the CA finish, so you've got a hard coating on there. If I turn this light on, hopefully, I don't know if it'll show the shine. And to me that's good enough. I'm not a great lover of the high gloss finishes, but that is really smooth and it's a really good finish. We could apply some polish and see what happens. You can also take it over to your buffing system. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll try a little teacup. This will be interesting actually, because when I put a question up in Facebook in Woodchuckers, this was a very popular solution to what you should use over a CA finish to bring it up to a higher, a higher gloss. So we'll just try a tiny bit. Spread that over. This is a method I haven't used, I must be honest, but I'm quite impressed with it. Yes, that has definitely given a slightly higher gloss than the just going to the 12,000. It's all a learning curve. Okay, I'll separate this from the mandrel now and we'll put the pen together. A pen press. They're not necessary if you're not going to be doing a lot of pens. You can do the same job with a vice or any other method you can devise. I just happen to have one. So with these slimline pens, the first thing is to insert the tip of the pen. So place it there. Prior to doing that, just get the distance right, make sure it's not askew and press home. Okay, the next piece to put in is the twist mechanism, and that goes in brass piece first. So you have to alter the distance between those 2 points on your press, and just get them lined up, and that happens. And just as you can tell, I am such a novice at this. Okay, just apply a little bit of pressure so that you've got it. Do you know this has never happened before? And then apply a little bit of pressure and start to increase the pressure and get it started, and take it down just to the, they do suggest, I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but it does suggest that you go to that little ring there, if you can see that little groove. But my advice always is to check, put your refill in and check that it doesn't come out too far and that it fully retracts. So that can do with a little bit more, and it doesn't really matter. There we go. I think that's just about right. put your refill in again, twist, and she comes out and she goes right back in. That's great. Now the next part to go on is the band. So you just slip the band over there, over the refill, and slot it down. Okay, then the next step is the stop there that goes into the clip, and that then goes between your 2 points, and you press that home, and then you slide that onto your pen. Well, here's the finished pen, and it didn't turn out too badly. I hope that it's been of some use to people who are thinking of starting in pen turning. All I was attempting to do really was to go through the different processes and what is needed to actually turn a pen. And as you do more pens and get more practice, things will improve, and really and truly there's no end to what you can do. And thank you very much for watching, and a happy new year to you all, and don't forget to subscribe. Cheers now.